What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the all-new 2020 Subaru Legacy. Now, I've kind of been teasing this car in my past reviews, my 2020 Forester review, my infotainment overview, which I actually included a video of the car ahead of time, and my 2020 Outback Onyx Edition XT and Limited review. But the reason is that the new Legacy shares so many of those elements pulled straight from the Outback, pulled straight from the Forester, and smashed here into a sedan that is a full redesign. And you'll notice that. You'll see it right off the bat. And if you're unfamiliar, I'll make sure to point it out. But if you've been following the channel at all, you'll know what those different things are. But let's go ahead and start right up front, as we always do, with the headlights. These are LED steering responsive headlights. You've got also LED fog lights down there, and they have that fresh new kind of sculpted look to them, like we've seen on the Forester, on the Outback, all the same. Now, under the hood, you've got two different engine options. This one has the 2.5 liter four-cylinder boxer engine, as always, 182 horsepower, 35 miles per gallon highway, 27 miles per gallon city. But you also have a second option, which is the XT engine. We covered that on the Outback. It's the turbocharged engine, so it's a 2.4 liter turbocharged boxer engine, a little more horsepower, a little worse mileage per gallon. So that is your option there, but this one is the 182 horsepower, 2.5 liter. Now, working our way back towards the front here, very familiar stylings like we've already seen on the Outback, on the Forester, where you've got these sculpted headlights, like I mentioned, very like sporty, kind of wind, I don't know what you'd call it, like sculpting, I guess, that makes it more aerodynamic in the wind. Here on the front, squished, more squatty front fascia with the huge Subaru logo. And it looks like we've seen on the Outback, the 180-degree forward-facing camera. It looks like there's a spot for that right there. Now, I'm not sure if you can get that on the Touring or on the Limited XT. We don't have it here on just the regular Limited, but looks like it probably could be there on the Touring. So as soon as we get our hands on a Touring, I'll be sure to make a video on that and point out the differences here. But you've kind of had the same style running across the board now on Subarus, where you've got this nice front fascia sculpted really nice up here, then a huge body colored kind of middle piece. Now, if you have the, let's say, the Outback Sport, then you do have, or not the Outback Sport, the Outback Onyx Edition XT, I should say, then you'll have this kind of a black rubber piece here, or like the Forester Sport, you may have a little bit different. But overall, they've kind of got this split design where they have these kind of dual fascias here and sculpted taillights, sculpted fog lights, all that kind of stuff. So that is the front. Now, also, you've got Eyesight Driver Assist standard now. We're getting very, very close to having Eyesight standard on all Subarus. Right now, you've got it standard on the Forester, standard on the Outback, standard on the Legacy. I can't see why they wouldn't make it standard on the Crosstrek, because the Legacies fall at a lower price point than the Crosstreks do. So you'd think the 2020 Crosstrek will have Eyesight standard. And I think I actually read that somewhere. So I'm gonna go ahead and you can quote me as saying that, Eyesight standard on 2020 Crosstrek. Hopefully we'll be getting those here soon. And so really all we're missing is WRX. Not positive if it's standard on that, but those should be going away here pretty soon, I think. The BRZ, which is, we really don't even ever get any BRZs. They're kind of more exclusive to different parts of the country. I don't think they make that many of them. So other than that, I'm pretty sure it's standard on the Ascent. So yeah, we're really close to having standard Eyesight, which is crazy because the amount of safety features packed into Eyesight is wild. To have that on every trim at every price point, bravo Subaru. That's a really awesome feature to have across the board. You also have it's not panoramic, but you've got a power tilting and sliding moonroof up top. And as we move around to the side of the car, you'll see that we've got 18-inch aluminum alloy wheels with a really nice kind of two-tone sculpted, machine finished look to them. They look really, really sleek. That's one thing I really like about Subarus, are their different rim options, because they all are unique and they're all really, really stylish. You don't really get any boring rims anymore, thankfully. Now you've got heated side mirrors here. There's a couple different options depending on what trim you get. You can get satin finished, black finished, and then body color finished mirrors here, depending on what trim you're on. These body colored ones have integrated turn signals. They have this kind of chrome piece that runs along the side, very like bright, high polished look to it. It's, like I said, heated. They're not power folding, they're just kind of manual folding, but they do have a blind spot indicator as well, which is really nice. Talked about the sunroof up top. You've got keyless access here, so you can put your finger on that lock or unlock button. It's locked now. Go ahead and let me in, there you go. And you can push your thumb on it, lock it back. So that's really nice to have. Love keyless access. Let's move to the back. Now back here, it's kind of a lot of the same, pretty standard looking rear gate, as you can see, but you do have this black splash guard here. Like I mentioned, some stylings pulled straight from the Outback. You've got these black kind of plastic molding that goes around the tail lights. They just give it kind of a more edgy, sportier look to me. They don't really have a functionality necessarily, but they look really nice. Got your standard rear camera here. Got some parking sensors here around the trunk. And you have the ability to open the rear gate using the key fob. Couldn't think of the word. So just press and hold, pops right open for you. And there's all my camera gear. So you've got a pretty decent sized trunk back there. Actually impressive with how big that is. And if you lay those rear seats down, you're gonna get even more space. So overall, really, really spacious sedan when it comes to rear cargo space. Yeah, that's the back. So that's pretty much everything on the exterior. Let's go ahead and hop inside. All right, guys, now let's take a look at what we've got going on in here, which is quite a lot here for it being unlimited. So everyone wants to talk about the 11.6-inch display, and I completely understand why. It's a huge kind of, it's almost a little bit like a party trick. So it doesn't have that much more functionality than your standard 8-inch display there, but obviously it's eye-catching because we've never seen anything like it in a Subaru before. But the 11.6-inch display here on the Legacy was the first one announced. Before we even knew it was coming to the Outback, we knew it was coming to the Legacy, and the Legacy came out after the Outback, so I don't know about that. But if you've watched any of my other overviews, you'll know that the 11.6-inch display is basically 3 sections. Okay, you've got a little top section. I don't know the exact dimensions. I'd say it's about 1.5 inches. And then there's a middle section, which is about 8.5 inches, and then there's a bottom section, which is about 1.5 inches. So maybe the math is a little off there. Those are about, you know, approximate measurements. But if you actually break it down, the display is only actually going to give you about, I don't know, 8.5 inches of screen real estate for using your applications. Now, if you are a Apple CarPlay user, Android Auto user, or Starlink user, you're only going to get 6.3 inches of screen real estate because it cuts the app off towards the top there. So it has its faults, but it, like I've mentioned in my other videos, it's awesome to see Subaru, a company that isn't known for making big steps and really breaking the mold, to be one of the first, you know, reasonably priced car manufacturers to implement a big vertical screen like this. So all that being said, it is a nice display. One cool thing you can do that I didn't know in my last video is that if you have the navigation like you have here on the Limited, and you bring up the map, you'll get that 8.5-ish inches of screen real estate for the map. But if you hit this little expand button, it'll actually go and it'll take up the top section as well. So you really do get a bigger mapping system than you would have on your standard screen that is horizontally, you know, situated versus vertical. So I've got a whole overview of this entire system, and it's no different here on the Legacy. So if you want to check out an in-depth video on that, I'll have a little link above on the little card, and you can check that out. So it has all your standard mapping, radio, media, Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, car info, Subaru Starlink, and the My Subaru app, all that good stuff. You've got a rear vision camera like you always have. Now, the Limited also has the DriverFocus distraction mitigation system, and that's this little bar right across the top here. And I've already actually set it up, so if I switch it, let's do driver profiles. Let's say, I don't know, trying to get it to work right. If I just move my seat back, okay? So I'm pushing this all the way to the back so it's more dramatic. I'm gonna boost up the thigh support here and do all that kind of stuff. So I've got it situated not how I would normally sit. This is kind of too far back. And I would turn the car off, open the door, blah, blah, blah. As soon as I get in the car, it says, hello, my name, and it's sliding me forward automatically. It's scanned my face, it's adjusted the thigh support, it's adjusted the mirrors, everything's moving around to my exact specifications for when I set it up. It's if my wife had a different profile, if she wanted to drive the car, she hops in here, it's gonna scan her face right off the bat, it's gonna say hello, and then boom, her seat will come a little closer, maybe raise up a little bit, her mirrors will adjust a little bit. It is fantastic for that part. Now I understand people's complaints to where it beeps at you if you don't keep your eyes on the road at all times. Let's say you even look out the window for a second, it'll start beeping at you, say, hey, keep your eyes on the road. And some people think that's annoying. So, I think you can turn that off in the settings. I'm not positive on that. But for having the driver profiles and having it automatically adjust your seat for you, it is just amazing. Like it's hard to explain to people that haven't had that before. But once you're in here and you're like, I could have 3 or 4, 5, 6 people. I think you can have up to 5 people in here at the same time, and it just immediately just switches around everything for you automatically. It's awesome. And now they've had that kind of stuff before. You've got, like you can see over here on the door, these seat position things. Like there, I hit the second one, it's adjusting my seat around and stuff. But the fact that it's completely intuitive, you don't even have to think about it. Like you just get in and boom, it says hi to me right there on the display, and my seat's moving forward and up and down and whatever. My mirrors are all over the place. It is awesome. So DriverFocus system, nice for driver distraction mitigation, like it's made for, but really the driver profile part of it is the cool part. So that's right up here up at the top. Now down the center console, you've got the same kind of layout as the Outback. So you've got these hardware buttons here for temperature. You've also got all of that on software. You've got the defogger, you've got the heated, the defogger in the back and the heated side mirrors. You've got the electronic parking brake, 2 USB-A ports, an aux port, the Lineartronic CVT, these kind of new cup holder design where you've got these little pucks inside that keep, I guess, gunk from getting down in there, and you can easily clean that. You've kind of got this 2-part center console, so one side will give you the whole, the right one will give you access to the entire thing where you've got a 12-volt outlet in there as well. And then the left one will give you just that flat little part where you could put, like, I don't know, cards or mints or change or whatever. Steering wheel wise, same design, nothing's really new here other than that lane centering button that we've seen on the Outback and the Forester now for 2020. This one does have a leather wrapped heated steering wheel, so that's an add-on here on the Limited that you can use. The rear view mirror, it has, it's auto dimming, it has a compass, and it has the HomeLink universal garage door opener, all that kind of stuff. Got your sunglasses holder here. You've got your power moonroof controls here. Nothing fancy on the visors here. The whole cabin is coated in this kind of soft touch leather with white stitching. Now it does have very similar, like I've mentioned a million times, accents that the Outback has, kind of with this pocket here, kind of for small item storage. And then there's actually like a map pocket right here, which I'll give you a little shot of right here. But you could put something small there. I don't know, like cords, or no one really has maps anymore, but you could put something. I mean, you can never have too much storage is I guess what I'm getting at. Now the Limited has the Harman Kardon premium audio system. If you drop down, you'll get a 4 or a 6 speaker depending on the trim. But the Harman Kardon one comes on the Limited and up. And other than that, other than the, just your standard like dimming of the gauges and, some of the metallic accents, the chrome accents all around the cabin, nothing really crazy out of the ordinary. It's just very clean, very Subaru, and it really just looks nice. I mean, it just looks premium. And having this kind of soft touch leather material all around the cabin, it's almost two-tone because the center console up here is kind of this rubbery, plasticky type feeling, and then having the tan interior here, it looks really, really, looks like it'd be way more expensive than it actually is. This one comes in at about $33, $35, about there, so just a really nice vehicle for that price. especially with all of the safety features you get, huge center console, all that kind of good stuff. Now in the back, you do have the 60/40 split folding rear seats, as well as rear vents, which is awesome. And you have 2 USB-A ports and heated seats in the back. So yes, your rear seat passengers can be comfy just like you. Now, one note on the heated seats, these front ones are heated as well. They have a ventilated option, but not here on the Limited. But they are 10-way power adjustable, 8-way power adjustable for the passenger. And one cool thing on the driver's side, unfortunately it doesn't look like it's on the passenger one. On the driver's side, like I mentioned earlier, that thigh support. So you can slide this little thigh bar thing forward, and I think it is the best. Like, I love thigh support. I wish my Crosstrek had it. I wish every car had it, because when you have long legs, like I'm like 80% legs, having, you know, your legs dangle off in this kind of uncomfortable way off chairs drives me crazy. But you just pull this thigh support out, it makes the chair so much longer, so much more comfortable, and it hits at the exact point that I need it to where my knees feel like they normally, like in a comfortable way, fall towards the floor. So love the thigh support. That is just absolutely awesome on this car. So a lot of good things in this cabin. Like I mentioned, I'm a huge fan of that thigh support. I'm a huge fan of just how Subaru lays everything out. You know, they've got a color display up here that gives you your adaptive cruise control information, your lane keep assist or lane sway, all that kind of stuff. Everything's right there in front of you, but it's not distracting. And that's a huge deal. You also have these LEDs up here that'll tell you if like something's getting close, like it'll start beeping at you, like that forward pedestrian braking, that kind of stuff. You also have rear automatic braking in the back. All kinds of good stuff in here. But like I said, the highlights are really that 11.6-inch display, the DriverFocus distraction mitigation system with the driver profile, you know, automation, I'll call it, and then the just really clean overall design of the cabin. So let's head back outside. All right, guys, and that is the all-new 2020 Subaru Legacy. Now, I forgot to mention the color earlier. It's tungsten metallic, and it does have that kind of two-tone interior with a tan and like a gray or black or something. I couldn't find the exact name on the sticker, so two-tone, we'll call it tan, but I'll put at the bottom of the screen what it's actually called. But like I mentioned, some really great standard features. Having Eyesight standard is fantastic. Those 2 different engine options are great. I would lean towards the XT just because that turbocharged engine is nice. You've got really nice LED steering responsive headlights. I love that. The rims look great. Pretty much everything. I'm a huge fan of the Legacy, always have been, but this new redesign is really, really nice, especially some of the standard stuff you get. I think it's crazy that Subaru just does that now, and it's really respectable, and I hope it pushes other car manufacturers to put a huge weight on giving the customers as many safety features as possible, because that is key when driving a vehicle of any kind. So really glad they did that, and hope that continues going forward. But anyway, guys, that is everything on this vehicle. Now, don't forget to drop a like on the video if you loved it. Leave a comment down below telling me what is your favorite part about the all-new Legacy. Do you prefer the Outback? Do you prefer the new Forester? Do you like that everything's pretty much the same and you just get to pick what style you want? I think that's just awesome. I think just having standard features across the board like that, and really just saying how much space do I need is really your deciding factor, and I think that's great. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be among the first to see the rest of my videos on the Legacy. We're making a Forester touring video coming out pretty soon. So yeah, hit that subscribe button. You'll be among the first to see it, and we'll see you in the next one.